In the highlands of Ethiopia, where ancient kingdoms rose and fell, one man's life would echo far beyond his homeland, shaping global politics, inspiring liberation movements, and becoming the spiritual foundation of millions. This is the story of Emperor Haile Selassie I, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, King of Kings, and a figure whose legacy still sparks debate, devotion, and fascination today. Haile Selassie was born as Tafari Makoan in 1892, in the small town of Ajersagoro. His lineage traced directly to King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, a royal bloodline that carried both political power and deep spiritual symbolism. From a young age, Tafari was brilliant, disciplined, and ambitious. His intelligence drew the attention of Emperor Menelik II, who saw in him the potential for leadership. By his early 20s, Tafari became governor of Harar, and later, regent of Ethiopia. But history remembers him most by the title he would eventually claim, Haile Selassie, Power of the Trinity. In 1930, after years of political struggle and court intrigue, Tafari was crowned Emperor Haile Selassie I. The world watched as Ethiopia, one of the oldest nations in the world, welcomed a modernizing ruler determined to transform his country. Leaders from across the globe attended his coronation. It was more than a ceremony, it was a statement. Ethiopia, long mythologized as a biblical kingdom, had stepped firmly onto the world stage. But peace would not last. In 1935, fascist Italy invaded Ethiopia. Haile Selassie, outgunned and betrayed by the West, was forced into exile. Many believed Ethiopia would fall, forever. Yet in Geneva, he delivered one of the most powerful speeches of the 20th century. It is us today. It will be you tomorrow. A warning to the world that fascism, if left unchecked, would spread like fire. His plea went unheard, but history proved him right. In 1941, with help from Allied forces and Ethiopian patriots, Haile Selassie returned triumphantly to Addis Ababa. For many Africans, his victory over a European empire became a symbol of resistance and independence. To colonized nations, he was proof that African sovereignty was possible. Throughout the mid-20th century, Haile Selassie emerged as one of the leading voices for African liberation. In 1963, he helped found the Organization of African Unity, what would later become the African Union. To many, he was not only a king, but a diplomat, a visionary, and a master statesman. He urged African nations to reject colonial chains and stand united. His famous words, "Until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited, there will be war." These words would later become immortalized in Bob Marley's song War. Across the ocean, in Jamaica, a spiritual movement looked to Haile Selassie not just as a king, but as the returning Messiah, the living God. The Rastafari movement believed he fulfilled biblical prophecy. When Haile Selassie visited Jamaica in 1966, thousands flooded the airport, chanting and burning incense. To them, the King of Kings had arrived. Though Haile Selassie himself never claimed divinity, his influence on global culture, through reggae music, social activism, and liberation theology, is undeniable. Back home, Haile Selassie pushed Ethiopia toward modernization, building schools, expanding infrastructure, and strengthening international ties. But the later years of his reign were marked by drought, famine, political unrest, and accusations of authoritarian rule. Critics argued that reforms were too slow, and that the monarchy resisted meaningful change. By 1974, rising discontent led to a military coup. After nearly 44 years on the throne, Haile Selassie was deposed. In 1975, Haile Selassie died under mysterious circumstances while under house arrest. Official reports claimed natural causes, but many believe he was assassinated. His burial was hidden, and his story nearly erased by the new regime. Yet history has a long memory. Today, Haile Selassie is remembered as a symbol of African independence, a global statesman, a defender of human rights, and a spiritual figure whose influence spans continents.